Okay.
Okay, Barney. This is a granny square. See it? It's not a very big one. It's one that I'm making a blanket with. I am actually using a K hook, which is a 6.50 millimeter hook, and just some extra yarn. And what you're gonna do is, of course, you're gonna do, you're gonna do the chain. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You chain 6. Make sure you have a little leverage right there. You chain 6. You come back around just like you're going to do a circle. And then you have your little circle. Then you're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then that's when you start. You do a double crochet. There's 2. Then you do another double crochet. That's 3. Now if you see on here, you do 1, 2, 3, and then you chain 2, and then you do another 3. So I've got my first one started. So you go 1, 2, then you come back around, and you do a double crochet. You make sure you do 3 of those. Okay, see, now that started the square. Then you go 1, 2, then you do 3 doubles, 1, 2, 3, and that is most of your square. And then you do 1, 2, 1, and then you go back to do the doubles. 1, 2, 3. So when you get 4 of these 3 double crochets done, you go 1, 2, and then you hook. You hook it together. That makes your first little bit of square. Now on this one, I only went out twice. Here's how you do it. When you get to this part right here, as you can see, my corners are right here. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You chain 4, come around, go through the opening right there where you did a 2, where you chain 2. You do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Then you chain 2 more, 1, 2. Come around, and in the same hole, you're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so after you do that right there, it should look about like that. Okay, now after you do that part right there, to get it to come and do a little space right there, you're going to chain 1. That's all you have to chain. Just do 1. Come around, do a double crochet in the next opening where you had chained 2 to begin with. So you do 3. See? And then you do 1, 2. And then you go 1, 2, 3. So see? Now you've got this corner, you've got a small opening, then you have this corner. Okay? Now again, you just chain 1 and go 1, 2, 3, and once again, go 1, 2. Then you do 1, 2, 3. Now this is the part that gets kind of tricky, because you're going to chain 1 and you're going to come back to this small opening right here. And remember, we had to chain 4 right here to go over to the next one. But this is what you're going to do. After you chain 1, you do 3 double crochets just like you were going to do it. 1, 2, 3. Now here's the part that's a little confusing. It took me a little bit of time to figure out. When you get to this part right here, 1, 2, you chain that right there. When you come around, you only have to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Okay. Then this little space right here, you do not do anything. Put your hook through, pull the yarn back through, pull it through your loop, and that's a slip knot. What I like to do after I get the slip knot is I like to come back 1, pull it through, pull it out a little bit, and do 1 more slip knot just to make sure I got it done. Now if you repeat this every time that you do it, if you'll repeat the same thing over and over, you know, you'll have this little thing right here. When you have these little holes right here, what you have to do, when you get to this part right here, I always turn. And I'll show you. I always turn and bring it through here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's just simple double crochets. You do 3 of them in each slot. And I've run out of thread or needle or yarn. Okay? And then just the same thing. You do it once, come into the open slot. After you get these 3 crocheted, you chain 1, come into the open spot where we chain 2 to make the square, to make the shape of the square. You do 3, chain 2, 3, chain 1, do 3 double crochets, and you just repeat that pattern over and over again. And each time that you go out bigger and bigger, there will be more of these little squares right here. And that is pretty much how you do a granny square. You just have to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger, or like me, until you're out of yarn. And there's your granny square. You're supposed to record it.